Indiana's controversial new law allows businesses to practice their religious beliefs. The LGBT community says that type of legislation infringes on their rights, and there's nothing in place to protect them. Governor Mike Pence signed this bill into law, but just this morning says he's going to work to fix it. Take a listen.
I've come to the conclusion that it would be helpful to move legislation this week that makes it clear that this law does not give businesses a right to deny services to anyone.
Does not give businesses a right to deny services to anyone. That was the key to take away from there. But this law has not just divided the state. Look at what it's done to Twitter. Campaigns like Support Indiana, I Stand With Indiana are for it with almost 2,000 tweets. But Boycott Indiana and We Are Indiana are against the bill. And they've gotten tons of support online with more than 250,000 tweets. Let's talk to three people who live in Indiana. Annette Gross lives in Carmel, Indiana, and has organized rallies against the law. Jason Glenn lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and teaches ethics at Bryan College. He's for the law. And Stephen Bailey in the middle also lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and is against the law. First to Jason, now you are for the law. What's your reaction to the governor when he just spoke?
Yeah, I can understand it. He's been put on a spot. He might have some convictions that he himself believes should be played out and how this law is enforced. And so, again, I can understand, however, that he doesn't want to create more tension than is already being created by the media. So yeah, my response to him is I understand you probably want the media tension to subside a bit and then let the legislative process begin to work out the language of this particular legislation.
Stephen, when you heard about this law, you reacted very emotionally. And it really sort of upset you. And you actually think that you want to hold the governor and the representatives accountable in the next elections. Tell me why.
Yeah, I do. I don't want to be mean-spirited, but I'm a gay man. I am an entrepreneur. I live in downtown Fort Wayne. I'm engaged. I'm getting married in September. And to have something like this come through, it brought me to tears. I'm not a heavily emotional person, but to live in a community for 34 years and to give effort to it every day, and then to have the people that are supposed to represent you basically not show inclusion is heartbreaking. And the reason why Indiana is different from every other state is we don't have any protection for gay people. So when a law like this is written and it becomes law, it's easy for it to be a license to discriminate, even though I know they're saying that it isn't.
So are you going to hold that governor and the representatives accountable during the next elections? Is this what it's going to be in the back of your mind when you go to those polls?
It will be. Not to be mean-spirited, but it's just the simple fact that I don't feel well represented, and I think it's going to be... I voted last time, and I will continue to vote. My motivation this time will be to get everybody to vote. I heard that only 13% voted in the last elections, and I think that we're seeing repercussions for that because it doesn't represent the people that I know.
And that you've been organizing rallies against the law. Your son is gay, but you told our producers that it's not just gay men and lesbian women that would be affected by this law feasibly. You feel like it would affect African Americans, it would affect Muslims, it would affect Jewish people?
Mm-hmm. I do, and I think, again, this bill is very mean-spirited. I represent 10 chapters of PFLAG, which is a national organization that offers support to parents and families of LGBT people. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that our community has been disrespected for years, and this would just add that animosity towards other minority groups.
So do you think in your state of Indiana, there's not enough respect for the LGBT community in general? And this is just a reflection of that? Is that what you're saying?
Of course. They've been trying to pass laws against our community for years. They tried to put a state constitutional ban of same-sex marriage in, and when that failed, now they're doing this. And we don't have any legal protections. The LGBT community has no legal protections in this state. And that's what makes this bill so much worse than the other states.
All right. So, Jason, while you say you understand why the governor would reframe this law and add an amendment to clarify the wording of the law so it not be so general, you have expressed the fact that you do agree with it. Why?
Yeah, it begins a conversation. Obviously, language is everything, at least the starting place, when it comes to finding consensus among the people and also finding boundaries for the way we live with one another. So we have to get the terms out there. We have to get some boundaries of discussion out there, and this legislation is a foundation for that. Obviously, after 97, they said that Religious Liberty Act was only had to do with the federal government, not with the states, and so Indiana is laying the groundwork for a further conversation on these particular issue.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see about that and see how this wording changes and how the bill changes, of course. And we'd love to talk to you guys again when that does change. Thank you to my panel. We appreciate it. Fantastic conversation.